Welcome everyone to UFC Fight Night. Taira versus Park. We're breaking down every fight, and if you guys are, we're not going to do an entire PFL video this week. We're just going to talk about it at the end. So for all you PFL fans, just wait till after we're breaking down the UFC, and then we'll do PFL. Nothing brings the people in like a Thad Jean, Logan Storley 5-rounder main event. I mean, it's just like PFL just constantly shooting themselves in the foot. So they don't even deserve their own breakdown video. So we're going to start with the main event. We're going to get right into it. So hit the like button. Leave us a comment about how my picks were such shit last week. Just awful. Everything I laid off of won. Everything I thought was going to do well didn't. Shout out to Carlos Leal. You had one job, not get smoked in the first round. Couldn't do it. All right, let's get into it. Tatsuro Taira and Hyun Sung Park. I don't need a whole lot of breakdown, but this is a video, and we are trying to kill a little bit of time here and make this fight more exciting than it probably is. I have Taira by complete domination. What do you have?
I agree. I think Park is going to have a competitive first round. From there, the growth of Taira is really going to be very, very evident. He's in the prime of growing, and he has grown. And we've seen it every single fight. And I think his last fight was a growing pain that he had to go through. Park, we like. We think he's a legitimate prospect. We don't hate the guy by any means, but this is a short notice. And guys, before everyone says it, like, oh, he was preparing for a fight, that's great. He wasn't preparing for a 5-round main event against Tatsuro Taira. Okay, so game plan goes right out the window. Taira has really underrated striking, and I think that his wrestling is going to make Park very defensive. For those of you who don't know, Taira does have a background in traditional Japanese karate, and he's got absolutely beautiful straight punches. Really great step-off right hand, where he cuts an angle and moves to the side. So if Park cannot get him down, I think at some point this is going to be a bit of a sitting duck on the feet. I wouldn't be shocked in a late finish from Taira, but also, Taira's smart. He's not going to put himself at risk and get on a 2-fight losing streak if he is up 3 rounds. So be careful on your method of victories for this fight. I think this is Taira in a wash. Would have liked to have got the Albazi fight, but I think we're going to learn a lot from Park in this, and we're going to learn a lot on the improvements of Taira. So, give me Taira all day.
Yeah, I guess the question for me is, all right, you've got Park who's 10-0, roster spot is in absolutely no danger whatsoever. Interesting fight for him to take, and for his camp to take. Like, I mean, you go from you go from road to UFC. It beats Choi, whatever. Shannon Rossi needed the second round. To me, that wasn't a great look. Okay, it gets Carlos Hernandez out of there. Supposed to fight Steve Ursag, but boy, this is a terrible matchup for him. I mean, I don't know. Do you just throw him to the wolves and say, all right, you're undefeated. Maybe we get our first loss out of the way. But I don't see it. It's a curious fight for him to take. Surely there was a lot of money involved with saving a Taira main event. But I don't know if Taira messes around on the feet that much. When he wasn't doing so great against Alex Perez and he just backpacked him and, ended up getting the injury, it was just like Taira knows where the sweet spot is. And it goes to split against Brener Royval.
Great fight.
It was an incredible fight. So, interesting fight for Park to take. I guess when UFC asks and throws you a boatload of money, I guess you say yes. So
I would say there was a lot of phone calls before the Park phone call. I think a lot of people said no to get Park
I wouldn't
here.
want to fight Taira last second. Yeah,
No, I wouldn't be accepting that unless you made it really sweet.
Yeah.
Really sweet.
Chris Duncan versus Mateusz. Rebecki, who you got in this one?
Well, everybody, if you watch us, you know my history with Chris Duncan, the I'm going to get you sucker. Chris Duncan, I swear I'm going to get this guy, and I just don't know when it is, man.
One of these days.
One of these days,
Jim's going to get him.
Ah, man, he does the thing against Jordan Vucenic, and at the time it was like, man, wow, look at Duncan. Well, look at Jordan now. Like, another busted Cage Warriors prospect. Beats Oki when Oki makes an absolutely boneheaded mistake and then comes back and proves that it was just a mistake. Yanel Ashmus by decision. Yanel's very limited in his skill set because of the size. However, the fight with Rebecki, I think, is going to look very similar to the Ashmus fight. To me, Rebecki is a better version of Ashmus with better skill set. He is the 1A to the 1B. No shame in losing a split to Oralby. Or winning a split to Oralby. That's a big win. The loss to Diego Ferreira.
What a war.
War. Oralby's face was messed up in that fight. Man.
So was Rebecki's.
Yeah, they were. Losing to Diego Ferreira, that was like, okay. You really can't be doing that, but it happened. I think we're going to get Duncan here. He just leaves his chin way too open. And I believe that he is going to be one of these fighters where he's going to go on a 2-fight win streak, a 3-fight win streak, and then he's going to get sparked. And then he's going to go on another 2-fight win streak, and then he's going to get sparked. I like what I've seen from Rebecki. I think he's got some serious advantages in the speed aspect as well. I mean, there's no bones about it. Duncan's slow. He is a slow, plotting fighter. So the athleticism of Rebecki, I think, is going to take over in this fight. The toughness of Rebecki is going to take over this fight. Give me Rebecki, man. I'll stay on the fade train of Duncan. If it doesn't happen again, I'm done fading the guy. That's when he'll get knocked out in the first round. Of course.
That's when Duncan is all of a sudden UFC champ and Jim is living in a van down by the river. He's lost so much money on Chris Duncan. Rebecki has shown us a few things in UFC. What he's shown us he gets into wars. He makes these things absolute bloodbath wars. And I'll give him credit. Boy, are they incredible to watch. Like you don't want to miss a Rebecki fight. Diego Ferreira, he lost because he went for the glory in the first round and gassed himself, and he was a mess. Oralby, both of them were just beat to shit. Oralby is made for a war. He's durable as hell. He can get takedowns. He can take them. Diego Ferreira, veteran. He's made for a war. I don't think Chris Duncan is totally made for a Rebecki war. I mean, don't forget on Contender Series, he was getting his ass kicked and threw the Hail Mary of all Hail Mary punches. Like, if he doesn't land on Charlie Campbell Square, he's done, and we probably never hear from him again. So I'm with you that these two wins, I don't want to say fluky because they were great guillotine choices, but the fact is, Oki took him down and was on top. Duncan pulls it out. Jordan just has completely melted and fallen apart. Sneaky play, here's the under.
Like it.
Duncan can get the finish, but like you said, he's kind of slow. His striking defense is suspect at best. What if Rebecki just comes out guns ablazing and Duncan cannot get anything on the ground going? So I kind of like the under. I don't think it's going to make the card, but this is certainly going to be a fun fight to watch. Esteban Ribovics and Elves Brener. What's your take on this one?
Elves Brener, an overrated fighter.
Okay.
Exciting fighter. Puts on good fights. Yes, sure. Certainly. But what's his calling card? Being tough, right? Being the tough guy. Being able to take
he is tough. You got to give him that. He is durable. I know he got knocked out against Alvarez, but he took a pretty good ass kicking in that one. So yeah, you're right. Tough is a calling card for him.
Loses unanimously to Oralby. Not a bad look as well. But I just leave all of his fights wanting more. Constantly wanting more. He gets hit a lot. And I don't believe that Esteban Ribovics is a guy that you want to be hit by. So this is one of those moments where if he doesn't change his fight style, he's walking into the same amount of danger that he did against Alvarez. Ribovics is an absolute killer on the feet. Great submission game as well, but just doesn't use it. He can wrestle. He can do the thing. The fight against Hapras was an absolutely great fight, and he hung with the volume of Hapras. My problem with Elves Brener is that he doesn't punch in combinations, and he doesn't do enough volume throughout the fight to where he's going to run away. And Ribovics has proved in his last fight that he can go to a decision and get a win. That is huge for a knockout artist to see somebody progress and be able to get to decision. So I'm really high on Ribovics in this spot. I think this is a very clear, all right, let's get this guy a W, especially after the great fight that he had against Hapras. And I think they're kind of selling a little bit on Elvis Brener here. I believe that the UFC machine is behind Ribovics. They want that market. So I'm going Ribovics here. I'm not going to be surprised if he gets the finish on Brener. Brenner's proven to be finished at all. So it's coming.
The X factor could be if Brener tries to get some wrestling and takedowns in. Couldn't get it going. I mean, Alvarez and Oralby, he's just not the guy to get it going. The win against Gurham was incredible. He was losing, and then he gets the knockout when Gurham gasses. I love Ribovics' combos. It's not like we were talking earlier. It's not 1-2s. It's 1-2-3 with a kick, thrown into it. It looks great to the judges. That's my only hesitation. Have we seen Ribovics on the ground? A whole lot. Split decision against Nasrat, split against Zellhuber. We didn't see anything against McKinney. Mm-hmm. We've seen him struggle on the ground. I believe Loic.
Yep.
Yeah, so can Brener get it going? That's to me his only path to victory. If he tries to stand for 3 rounds, it's just going to get out-volumed, probably times two. So I'll go Ribovics controls the pace. Excuse me. I'll go Ribovics controls the pace, kind of beats him up on the feet, and Brener can't quite get the wrestling in, but I will have the live lines wide open if Brener gets a takedown early in the first and we see Ribovics struggle on the ground. That's the only path, but it is a path. This isn't like an absolute certainty that Ribovics runs through them. Do I think he does? Yeah, striking, but we worry about the takedowns. Karol, Rosa, and Nora. Is it Cornolle or Cornolle?
Let's go Cornolle.
Cornolle.
Sounds less like cornhole.
Truth. All right, Karol, Rosa, and Nora. Cornolle, what do you think?
So we have a 35-year-old, 9-2, French fighter who started off as a kickboxer. Now she gets a submission in her last fight. This is going to look like one of those real, throw you off the scent things. She gets the submission over Haley Cohen. It's Haley Cohen, ladies and germs. It's Haley Cohen. So, I mean, you could have any kind of a win against Haley Cohen. Knockout, submission, decision. She's got holes everywhere. That fight against Cavalcanti, she just doesn't throw enough volume. That fight was for her. It was there. Winning against Melissa Mullins. Melissa Mullins eats the knee to the body, and then it's just over. Again, we know about Melissa Mullins. Not the best. The Jocelyn Edwards decision, I thought Jocelyn won. So theoretically, we could be 2-2 in our last 4 for her. And honestly, a 35-year-old fighter with this little experience, I don't really value. The experience edge is massive for Karol Rosa. Now, Karol Rosa will continue to be one of the most aggravating fighters to watch and or bet on. Because whatever she should do, she's not going to do. She's going to do the opposite. And you could scream from the heavens, get the takedown. Okay, strike at range. She'll hurt you with a leg kick and then just say, I'm done with leg kicks for a while. I'm going to wrestle now. So she runs into Aileen Perez. Aileen Perez, low-key, putting together a heck of a resume in this division.
I was gonna say, I think Aileen Perez ran into her because those takedowns were about as easy as it gets.
Yeah, she ran right through her as far as those takedowns and held her down. I don't think we're going to see that from Nora. This is going to be a striking fight, and we're talking about Karol Rosa, who creeps up on 100 strikes every fight. So the volume edge is going to be massive. And in women's MMA, when we're probably looking at decisions, sometimes that's really the only thing you got to look at is who's going to do more. And I do believe that Rosa is going to do more than Nora in round 2 and round 3. I'm not buying into the ground game. There will not be 3 rounds of takedowns from Nora. It's not going to happen. Karol Rosa should take over in rounds 2 and 3. I think round 1 could be a bit of an ugly round. We might get a fantastic live bet on Karol Rosa. But I'm going to ride with Rosa one more time. Again, she's on this, win-loss, 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 2 losses, win, 2, kind of on and off. I think she bounces back with a win in this spot and sends the 35-year-old packing.
make no mistake, I'm not betting a penny on this fight. I'll go head-to-head with you.
Okay.
Rosa got taken down like a sack of potatoes against Eileen Perez, and I know Perez does that better, but I watched Cornolle do it against Haley Cohen, and you know my thoughts on Haley Cohen. Absolute fraud. I've been proven right twice. I'm so pissed off that Haley Cohen has had this many fights. Look how many fights I could have made money fading Haley Cohen. This was the easiest fade of all time. Coming off of Contender. The single worst contract. All right, I've digressed. But Cornolle did a good job with the takedown, gets the finish. It's all Haley Cohen does is push people up against the fence, and she is pretty strong, and I thought Cornolle did a good job of fighting it off. And I think if Cornolle gets Rosa down, may hold her there for a while. Just not that impressed with Rosa, man. When I watch her, like you said, it leaves a lot to be desired. Like, okay, Pani Kianzad split against Yana Santos. She's losing to Norma and Perez. I just can't get there. I'll go fun head to head. I don't think you're. I don't know if you're betting Karol Rosa, but I
haven't bet it yet. I will be betting Karol Rosa. I will be.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
all right. I'll be rooting for you, but my brain is saying that this is a dangerous one. So Cornolle as the underdog will be a pick. Neil Magny finally fighting somebody in his generation against Zaleski. So, I mean, seriously, we hear the term gatekeeper. There has never been a more obvious gatekeeper than them giving him Ian Gary, Mike Milan, Michael Morales, and Carlos Prates. It's like, hey, go beat up this.
That's a murderer's row.
Of younger guys with good stamina and stuff. Neil Magny would like pick on somebody your own size. This is pick on somebody your own age. So we got Neil Magny versus Zaleski. I want you to go first. I know where I stand on this one. What do you think?
Neil Magny has had a murderer's row of competition.
It's been brutal.
You can say what you want about him looking worse and being finished, but I don't care. Look at who he's fighting. Like, you cannot hold that against him. You flat out
who's who of title contenders, Jim.
Look at this. We just saw Michael Morales make such short work of Gilbert Burns. Like, it's expected. The guy is a freak. He is my dark horse to be champ very soon in this future here.
That ain't a dark horse, Jim. He is going to be champ.
I don't think he gets the notice that everyone else does. I just like, his fights come around. He looks fantastic. And then he comes around and fights again, and nobody talks about him. Or he's on a fight night card. Like, can we get this guy in a main event, please, or a co-main of a pay-per-view, for God's sake? I mean, if you want to keep stuffing him there, I'll keep betting on him. That's fine with me. Carlos Prates, it's Carlos Prates. That's our boy, right? He beats Mike Malott when Mike Malott gasses out. Mike Malott's come back and strung together some wins, man.
By the way, Mike Malott kicked his ass for 2 rounds.
He did.
Like, absolutely kicked his ass.
Mm-hmm. But he survived. That's the thing. He survived for 2 rounds against a finisher. So, I mean, Magny still got some fight in him. Zaleski, I have way more questions about his competitors than I do Neil Magny's competitors. Okay?
I see. Here. Are you telling me Zaleski hasn't fought 3 title contenders?
Let's go look at who Zaleski's been fighting. Okay?
Zach Scroggin, you're not too impressed with?
Chitty, who we just saw Chitty forget how to grapple. All right. Zach Scroggin? Do we remember Zach Scroggin?
Do
we remember the Zach Scroggin walkout on our live stream where we said, "Oh no"?
There's been several
we are betting Zaleski
huge
by
bets
finish.
based. Yeah, yes. There has been several big time walkout bets we made when Dustin Poirier started crying against Max Holloway. That was one of the bigger ones. And yes, when Zach Scroggin walked out against Zaleski, it was, oh no, we're taking Zaleski by finish. It wasn't we're taking Zaleski.
No.
It was we're taking Zaleski by finish.
Yeah. getting knocked out by or losing a decision to Randy Brown. It's Randy Brown. You never know what's going to happen. We have a draw. Abubakar, he's not good. Again, he beats Benoit Saint Denis.
But that was when Saint Denis was just. This was when
the beginning?
Saint Denis was kind of getting into.
Was that his first fight where he?
Yeah,
took
it was his
beating,
debut.
Right? Yeah. So Saint Denis takes the beating, and just has nothing left to come back. I just got questions, man. Zaleski likes to sit back and wait. I think Neil's going to close the distance. He's going to turn this into an ugly Neil Magny fight. Again, how do people usually beat Neil? If you can take him down, his submission, is not the best in the submission defense. And, yeah, you can hit him with a shot and knock him out. But look at the guys that are knocking him out. That's not Zaleski dos Santos. Now, I hope we don't get caught like we did with Liao, where the old fighter, who's a capoeira background, lands a spinning heel kick in round 1 and knocks out Neil Magny. But if this thing goes to the second round, I know that Neil's cardio is going to be better. I know that Neil has a more diverse game. I know it's scary betting on an old fighter, but I think Neil Magny, if this gets to round 2, rolls through those next 2 rounds against Dos Santos. I like Magny.
Yeah, I've been worried about Magny. I thought he's looked pretty bad, but yeah, you go back and is Zaleski going to do what Morales and Prates did? I will say this. Zaleski could in the first round, but if he gets out of the first round, now you're looking at one of the best live bets you can make, which is Magny, because Magny's cardio is unquestioned. His cardio is fine. Can he survive the leg kicks? Can he survive the early violence from Zaleski? So I won't have a pre-bet on this one, but I will be hoping that Zaleski looks really good in round 1, and then I start to see him tire out, because I think Magny can take over in rounds 2 and 3. Ever so slight lean to Zaleski, just because I haven't liked Neil Magny's. He's absorbed a lot of damage. I mean, we can say he's been knocked out by killers, but he has been knocked out. It's a lot of damage that he's absorbed. So, but this will be a live bet spot for me. Danny Silva and Kevin Vallejos. I was kind of like, you cracked me up. You're like, I'm a little worried about Vallejos. And you're like, wait a minute, I've been the one pounding the drum on Vallejos.
I don't know what I was thinking.
What am I thinking? So, what do you think of this fight?
I've made $0 on Kevin since the Contender Series. And
You've been
he was one of my
guy.
favorites. It makes no sense to me. I don't know why I've been talked off of his bets. Really nice win against Cam Teague. That was a big bet. For myself against Cam Teague, the mythical creature Cam Teague. Against Choi, we have to keep in mind that we found out post-fight that Choi's mother passed away, 7 days before the fight?
Tragic.
I feel bad for him, right? It's really rough thing, and to even get to the cage was impressive. That being said, Vallejos did what he had to do, man. He's got a lot of power. He's got the cardio. He's got a brick for a head. I was worried about it. Danny Silva. Then I went back and looked, and it's like, wait a minute. It's Danny Silva. We know Danny Silva. He's not going to bring anything new to the table. He's a finished product at this point. He was on the season of The Ultimate Fighter, which has seen, no success in the UFC? Who's been good off of that season?
Well,
you have the old heads that are still here.
On Contender Series, he won against Pacheco, and if you remember that fight, they both landed like 200 significant strikes or right in that area.
Yeah.
And Pacheco has lost to Colin Flockren and looked awful doing it. So then you go back to that fight and you go, well, how awesome was it? Yeah. Was it two warriors or was it just two bad fighters who couldn't block anything?
There you go. You hit the nail on the head right there. Just split. One judge sees it another way. We're looking at 2 losses in a row. I'm not going to be an idiot anymore, and I'm going to try to make money on Kevin Vallejos.
I think you should do that. You should do that.
We will have a bet on Kevin Vallejos going in here. I think Vallejos can do whatever he wants in this fight. If he wants to use the wrestling, he can. If he wants to strike it out, he can. If he wants to pour it out on the third, he can. So give me Vallejos however he wants it here. It's going to depend what Silva open up. So if Silva goes into defense mode and survival mode, yeah, it's going to be Vallejos by decision. He'll play it safe, but I'm not stepping in front of this guy at all anymore.
Silva just absorbs too much damage. He eats too many shots. And again, what do we always say about these split decisions? One judge changes one round. and this could be a 2-fight losing streak. And not to mention, it's against Josh Kulibau, who I'm obviously not that high on, and it's against Lucas Almeida, who, has beaten Timmy Kwamba, who's been a massive disappointment. That's his one win in the last few years. So I agree, it's Vallejos. He's juicy. I think he's a pretty good parlay piece, and I would not be scared to put Vallejos by finish just because Silva just eats too many shots, and Vallejos, this is going to be the hardest punching guy that he's ever faced by far. So Vallejos has just got that one-shot hitter-quitter for sure. This is a fascinating one. Nick Klein against Andre Pulyaev. I'll go first on this one.
Go for it.
Pulyaev, we pegged this Liam Anderson as an absolute fraud. And we said, when he gets out of the first round, look out. And we were proven right about that. Did Pulyaev kill him? No. He just coasted to a win. I still don't know why he got a contract, because it wasn't a great performance. But Dana was like, but whatever, underdog. And it was like, well, Dana, whoever's setting those lines were idiots. They haven't watched Liam Anderson gas himself. So Pulyaev was the beneficiary of fighting someone that just had no cardio after and was just highly overrated. So he gets into the UFC and he fights Christian Leroy Duncan in one of the top 10 most boring fights the UFC has ever had the displeasure of putting on. It was up against the fence most of the time. Neither guy did anything. Christian Leroy Duncan just kind of hung out there and was like, I guess I'll just take the decision win. But it was terrible. Pulyaev doesn't have anything at the UFC level. And this is talk about false advertising, if you will, here. I mean, like, look at okay, punches, armbar, ground and pound, triangle choke. Look at some of these guys. This guy's 38-21 who he knocks out in the first. Oh, congratulations for your third round submission against a guy who's had 3 fights. Like, fraud. We picked him. And then you get Nick Klein, who
Great story.
Unbelievable story.
Great story.
Unbelievable story. But he gets the Hail Mary rear naked choke. I will say this. Against Malik, he actually drops Malik in the first round and then gets tired. And that's Nick Klein's deal, is he gets tired. Like, he is all gas, no brakes. So this is either going to be a Nick Klein early finish, or Pulyaev does exactly what he did on Contender Series, which is ride out the early storm and then coast to a unbelievably boring decision victory. Pulyaev, I cannot wait to fade. I just don't know if this is it. Like, you with Chris Duncan, this is me with Pulyaev. Like, I got him against Duncan. I did bet him. I was able to get live bets against Duncan once it realized that Pulyaev was worthless.
Yeah.
But Klein, I'm not high on it on. It's just going to be another pretty good live bet. Like, if Klein doesn't finish him in the first round, you're just live betting Pulyaev, because Klein is going to gas, he's going to get tired, and Pulyaev is going to land like 15 strikes in the second, 20 in the third. He's going to push him up against the fence, and Klein's going to be exhausted. So I don't know what you're doing with this one, but if you're betting Klein, you're just betting him by finish, because Klein ain't winning a decision. That's not in Klein's like UFC future at all. So I'm going to take Klein by no, I'm taking Pulyaev. Klein is just so bad when he loses his energy. Yeah. It's got to be Pulyaev, but I hope Pulyaev wins this one, because next fight I'm ready to lock and load. What's your take?
I agree with you. I hope Pulyaev wins this one. I'm praying that he wins this one, because that's going to put us at 10-3, and he's going to have to fight a real fighter, and we are going to fade the hell out of him.
Yes,
against whoever it is. I don't care who wins this fight. Give me fight doesn't go the distance.
Oh, doesn't go? Oh,
no.
Okay, because Klein gasses. And
Klein just, I don't think, has the ability. I really don't. I don't think he has the ability. He is the picture of a kill or be killed fighter. Okay? Now, one of these guys is going to make improvements before this fight. This is Nick Klein's second fight where he doesn't have to go to a 9-5. So, hopefully, if you're training all day long, we're going to see some improvements. I don't think we're gonna. I just think he's going to expel so much energy in the first round and get hit very easily that at some point he's going to fold up. And I know Pulyaev is not a big murderous power puncher or finisher, but do you have to be against Nick Klein? Do you really have to?
No, you don't.
You don't.
It's
and
literally
like you said,
survive. Survive in advance.
That's all you got to do. Get past the first round, and you're going to have a huge advantage. And also, let's say, like you said, Klein's going to come out. I think this guy only knows one way to fight. He is a blue-collar, work hard, gritty fighter. And those guys run across the cage, they get in your face, and they cause a firefight. So Pulaev's not going to have the option in round one to just sit back and enjoy and smell the roses while Klein wastes his energy. If he thinks he's going to coast through round one and wait till he gets tired, he's going to be live to be finished by Klein. So if Klein gets this to the ground, his submission upside's huge. If he wastes his energy and he doesn't get that finish, I'll tell you this fight starts and one of these guys gets close to a finish and doesn't get it,
I love where you're going with this.
That is going to be the
this.
adrenaline dump of all adrenaline dumps. Can you see it? Klein's got the choke in for a minute 30.
Doesn't get it.
And then Pulyaev gets out, and Klein's arms are swollen and beat red from the choke. You know he's done. So have your live lines open. I think at minus 180, this fight not to go is a great bet. I'll have a piece of this somehow. I like to get that number down, maybe parlay it with one of the bigger favorites. But, both these guys are a total fade train. And we're rooting for Pulyaev to win because we will back up the bank truck on that next one.
All right. Rinya Nakamura and Nathan Fletcher. Listen, I've been had many times in my sports betting career. I bet on fighters that didn't do what they were supposed to do. I bet on teams that laid an egg. It's all part of it. What Rinya Nakamura did to me and everybody else in his last fight against Gafurov is Bo Nickel did this against Paul Craig, I believe, when Bo Nickel was like, I'm just going to strike.
This is worse.
This was way worse because at least Bo Nickel won.
Exactly.
Nakamura has the most clear path to victory you could ever have, which is take this man down. And instead he's like, I'm going to Carl Williams this bitch. I'm going to show him my striking chops. And no, he did not. Fool me once. I don't know what to do with Nakamura. You seem to have a much more strong opinion, so I'm not going to let Nakamura get me again, or am I? What say you?
You are.
Damn it! I know I am.
You are.
I hate myself.
Nathan Fletcher. This isn't about Nakamura.
It's a great point. This is the whole point of this fight.
We'll talk about Nakamura later. Let's talk about Nathan Fletcher, shall we? The guy is just unimpressive. Absolutely unimpressive in any position in MMA. He's the feel-good story. Okay? Cage Warriors fighter, long time in Cage Warriors. Just do the Cage Warriors fighter fade this year. You're printing money because we found out that after Conor McGregor left Cage Warriors that they're all horrible. It's a bad scene, guys. It's just a bad scene. And no disrespect to them. They're out there fighting. They're making their money. They're in their career. But this is the big time. It just is. So it's just not enough. It is not enough. You cannot lose to Con Awfully.
Thank you.
And have me take you serious against a number one prospect from a region. Nakamura is a number one prospect from Japan. He's up there. He's a blue chip prospect. And I know he tried to strike for 3 rounds against Gafurov. And if he's got the same damn coaches in his corner telling him, that was good, let's try to do better this time, I still think he beats Fletcher. What is scary about Fletcher's striking? This man got worked by Colin Loughran. Great live bet. I live bet the heck out of Loughran in that third round.
I did
because
too. It
Fletcher
was very
just
obvious.
gets put up against the fence. He's a guy that'll pull guillotine as well. Like, oh, please pull guillotine against Nakamura. Make him go to the ground, please.
Yes, please.
Like, that would
do
be
that.
great. If you jump guillotine in the first minute, I would love it. Because you're going to end up on your back and you're going to stay there for the rest of that round. I don't think he's UFC level, man. And look, if Nakamura burns me again, so be it. But this is purely a situational play for me where I am going to fade a Cage Warriors fighter who should not be here against somebody who made a mistake their last fight, but hopefully learned a lesson if he is who we think he is. And I think he's got a real shot to be something in the UFC. We've seen this before. We've seen this before with these guys. So, yes, I am betting Nakamura.
I mean, I'm gonna join you, but not because I want to.
Nope, I'm gonna.
It's moral support. But yeah, I'm with you. It's just like, I mean, it's got to be Nakamura. He can't lose to Nathan Fletcher. You can't be that good and lose to Nathan Fletcher. But hey, this is an epidemic here, Jim. These wrestlers that are all of a sudden like, no, I'm a striker. It's just happening over and over and over again. And by the way, it doesn't work.
No.
Grant Dawson. Be Grant Dawson. I'm still a line from Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan. Dana White. You said be Joe Piper. Be Grant Dawson. If you are a wrestler, then wrestle until the wheels come off. You will make more money doing it that way. So, would you rather win with a shitty striking, like appearance, or would you rather lose with a shitty striking appearance or win with a good wrestling appearance? So, come on, Nakamura, get back to your roots, brother. All right, speaking of wrestling and grappling, we got Rodolfo Vieira and Tresean Gore. I'll just let you know, there is no way I am betting on Rodolfo Vieira anytime soon, even if it is against Tresean Gore. We talked Armen Petrosian, who appears to be done. Mm-hmm. Vieira's got the credentials and the wrestling and the grappling, and I didn't see it at all against Petrosky. He looked terrible. And we bet on him against Petrosky. I actually kind of thought that he won one of the rounds that they didn't give him. I think most people disagreed with me. Maybe I was swayed because I had money on him. But the fact is, I thought he would dominate Petrosky, and he just flat out didn't. This is a man who has said he doesn't like fighting. He does it for money. And listen, Tresean Gore, he may not be great, but he's going to go out there and fight. And he does like fighting. He's fighting for a spot on the roster. Every time he goes out there, he's fighting for a spot on the roster. I know he got sparked by Tulio. That was like one of the most unfair matchups ever.
It's Tulio.
And Gore dropped him in the first round. That's the thing. So if Gore can just somehow keep this on the feet, he's going to win the striking matchup. I mean, Vieira lost a striking matchup to Andre Petrosky. He's going to lose a striking matchup to anybody. And I'm getting Tresean Gore at he's like plus 170. Tell me that there is no world which I'm laying minus 210 on Rodolfo Vieira at all. I mean, this is a guy that got stuffed 20 times by Chris Curtis. Yeah, he gets it on the ground. It's a problem, but that's the thing. It's kind of a problem with him getting it on the ground. And Gore is no slouch on the ground. He's strong. He knows his way around there. So even if Vieira does get a takedown, I think Gore can get up. Gore's going to be the pick. If I'm looking at underdogs, it's disgusting. It's smelly. It's stinky. It's gross. But I just think Tresean Gore has the motivation, and Rodolfo Vieira, like, what has he got left? What do you think?
First of all, favorite bet in this fight is fight doesn't go. As well.
Oh, wow.
This is
Okay,
another one
doesn't
that
go.
I've pegged that doesn't go because Tresean Gore could be as bad as we think he is with a 5-3 record. And like you said, he is perennially going to be on the roster bubble. He just is. Like, after every Tresean Gore fight, you should look at the roster cuts because you never know, win, lose, or draw, if he's still going to be here. I think the big thing that's going to throw everybody off this week is going to be the news that Rodolfo's at the Fighting Nerds. Now, me and you have sniffed this out with the Fighting Nerds. You don't just blindly bet the Fighting Nerds. You bet the
We
Fighting
learned that
Nerds
with Myra
were
Buenos
there.
Silva. We learned that with Myra Buenos Silva.
Buenos Silva. We learned that with Thiago Moises. We learned that with, was it Bruna Brazil as
That's a
well,
good
I
one.
believe? That's
Yeah.
another one. You could try to jump on the train once it's rolling, but these guys aren't there for it. So are they really getting the coaching from the real fighting nerds daily? Or are those guys really doing their thing? Remember, this is a business. So I seriously doubt that Carlos Prates and our boy
Gene Silva, Ruffy, Kyle Barallo.
Borallo is really taking that much of an interest. Now, he might be in his corner. If I'm the fighting nerds and I'm talking to Bellato, it's you need to run across this damn cage or Vieira, and you better get a takedown fast, buddy. Like, you need to go submit this kid quick. Because if you don't and you're stuck on the feet, Tresean Gore is going to hit with a lot more power than Andre Petrosky.
Yes, he is.
And we saw, Rodolfo be lumped up by the end of that fight. And Petrosky is notoriously pillow-handed. So I think there's finishing equity on both sides here. If I am picking a winner, I am agreeing with you. I'm picking Tresean Gore. I am not laying chalk on a guy who doesn't like fighting, does it for money, is a Ronin right now, trying to grab at something to keep his career going, 35 years old, at this weight class, at 185, not the best, and just doesn't have an MMA skill set. What does he have on the feet?
Nothing.
He's got a lazy jab and a really ugly right hand. No kicking game to speak of. So you got to take dog here. But fight doesn't go. That's where I'm going with this fight.
All right, that's an interesting one. I could see this going the distance, and all right, I'll go head to head with you. I'll take this one to go the distance.
I had a feeling you would say that.
I had this circled this boring shit fest.
I had this circled as one that we were going to be on opposite sides of. I did.
Yeah, we agree. Gore. I think it's Gore by decision. All right, Felipe Bunes and Rafael Esteban. Listen, Rafael Esteban, 13-0. This man is a takedown machine, control time galore, absolutely dominant, 13-0. This man cannot be stopped until the third round. And then
what a great analysis.
Does he know that these fights are 3 rounds? Because I've seen Esteban look like an absolute world beater with his takedown, and then in the third round, you're like, oh my God, he needs oxygen. Like, he legit needs oxygen. I don't know what to do with him. I am certainly not laying the heavy juice on a man that is dead to the world in the third round. Now, he's getting a pretty good matchup because Bunes is not exactly known for his cardio, but knocked out by Josh Van. Not exactly the worst loss in the world. He's got a good ground game. I guess my point to this one is when you have a fighter that you know is going to lose round 3, and I know that about Esteban, he's just going to look terrible in round 3. I just can't take him. Should he win rounds 1 and 2? Yeah, but Bunes has got a good ground game. Talk about a guy that we're going to get. This 13-0, and talk about guys that are not going to finish their career undefeated. Rafael Esteban is not going to finish his career undefeated. Yes. In fact, I would say if you want to start now and just bet against Esteban, he's going to drop his first one in the next couple of fights. So if you're getting, plus 300, plus 400, plus 500 on him. But Esteban, he doesn't throw very much volume. I think what was the fight that he landed 1 strike in the second, right? Like 4 minutes of control and landed like 1 strike.
Yeah,
I think it was
nothing.
Charles Johnson. He doesn't do anything. And that's a recipe for disaster. If you get some judges that are like, screw this guy. I'm not rewarding him for laying and praying. Maybe you get a ref that wants to see violence, a la Herzog, who wanted to see Muhammad Yahya die in the ring.
I still think somebody paid him off. Somebody had a hit on Yahya. You don't stop this fight.
Why is there a red laser on Herzog's forehead? This is a complete pass for me. I think you're crazy if you put Esteban in parlays. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he dominates the first 2 rounds and does what he does and coasts to a 29-28 win. But this cardio, or lack of, from Esteban is absolutely terrifying when you're laying this big of a juice. What do you think?
I agree 100%. And we don't always try to agree on this, but you hit this nail right on the head. In the next 3 fights, Esteban is going to lose. Is it this one?
It's a great way to put it.
One?
Give me 3 fights with Esteban. He's going to drop
3 more
one
fights.
of them.
He will not be 16-0. Do we agree?
Yes. No,
not happening.
He's
Especially
not
if he wins 2 in a row, because then he's going to have to fight somebody who can fight in the 3rd. So here's our problem with this guy, right? This screams a decision being read. Esteban is all happy-go-lucky, like he won the fight, and they're going to read the opposite name. And he's going to look bewildered on how he lost the decision to Bunes. Yep. What do you mean? Come on. It's coming. And that's how this guy is going to win. Or lose. That's how he's going to lose. I'm not really high on Bunes. But if you're going to give me this number against somebody who I can pencil in is going to lose round 3, you almost have to take that. You're going to watch this fight, and you're going to watch the first 2 rounds. And if there's any part of you that could see 2 judges giving round 1 or round 2 for Bunes, you better bet him. You better bet him. Because he is going to be way more live in the 3rd than this line dictates. So, I do think this fight goes the distance if we're talking about a play here, because we don't want to bet on either guy here. But do you see a finish coming from either guy?
No.
Unless it's a total gas out in the 3rd from Esteban, I don't see a finish. So it's going to be a greasy decision. Stay away from the chalk on this and take the plus money.
Pura Rodriguez and Ketlin Souza. I love Pura Rodriguez in this one. I love her aggressiveness. Sometimes it gets the better of her, like when she she
headbutted Cornolle.
Tapology doesn't say headbutts. Intentional headbutts. And it was intentional. So
plural.
Yeah. Yes. Was warned and did it again. So who's she lose to? Jillian Robertson, who is on a tear and gets DQ'd, which, by the way, she was beating the shit out of Cornolle. And you and I love Josephine Knudsen. We've been high on her. We've been, predicting her fights correctly. And Pura Rodriguez took her down, held her there, and did enough to get the decision win. So I like the aggression. I don't trust Ketlin Souza. I don't think loses a split to Angela Hill, and this win against Yaragi is going to throw everybody off the scent here. Yaragi. Oh, did we misread? Yaragi, maybe, because she's gotten smoked. In her losses, she's gotten smoked in the first round. But, the fact is, Ketlin Souza, brutal knee bar. So beats Marnik Mann, who's awful. Loses to Angela Hill. So what wins are we looking at? A win against Yaragi, where Yaragi's shown that she can get nuked in the first round. Marnik Mann.
Yeah, I'm going to rate that one.
Yeah, I like Pura Rodriguez. This might be one of my favorite bets. I think Pura Rodriguez gets her on the ground. Yeah.
Wow.
This card has got landmines written all over it. So I get a girl who's Pura Rodriguez is like the girlfriend that fights more than her boyfriend does. Who gets disqualified for intentional headbutts, Jim? I want that girl in a fight. Pura Rodriguez, takedowns, ground and pound. Ketlin Souza doesn't have an answer. It's Pura Rodriguez for me. What about you?
To me, this is a mirror image fight. This reminds me very much of the Baby Shark and Rebos fight from last week. It was just penciled in that there was one outcome.
Oh, okay. I get where you're going.
Everybody assumed this is going to, that fight was going to go the distance, right? There's going to be something about these two women, something outside of the cage that we're going to find out post-fight, or it's going to spill its way into the cage. That's going to cause them to lose. This fight smells to me. It smells. I think this is a huge issue. Part of me wants to say it goes the distance, but both girls are pretty violent. And I just feel like they're mirror images. They're both clubbing strikers with really not a whole ton of technique. They both have enough of a ground game to get a submission. Their ground games are bad enough to be held down. So where do you go? What do you do? I do agree with you that the skill set of the fighters that Souza's fought compared to Pierre Rodriguez, very different in class. But we have seen with Souza, first of all, I do know that Souza's knee is fine. She's proven that she's totally fine after the knee injury from Karine Silva. So we can cross that out. A la Calvin Kattar from last week, a couple weeks back, where you see it again. They're just like, he's never going to be right from the knee surgery. Souza, she's good to go. She looks fine, which is great because that was one scary knee injury against Silva. I mean, you could have ripped everything out of that knee. So I don't really know where I land on the side, to be in all honest with you, and I don't really know about a time in this. This fight just scares the living hell out of me to take a side. Everything that you said is a great point, so if you have a stronger read, most certainly go by Andy's read on this fight because I am bewildered. You'll always get honesty from us, and I am bewildered and cross-eyed on this one. I don't know which way to go.
Yeah, Pierre Rodriguez will fight anybody, anytime, anywhere, and she will do whatever it takes. That's who I want my money on. All right, last second fight, Austin Bashi, John Yanis. I know nothing about John Yanis. 9-3, pretty good record. Haven't even had a chance to do tapes. These fights terrify me. I don't really want to bet on it. You got Austin Bashi, who absolutely shit the bed against Christian Rodriguez in his debut. Complete pass for me, no opinion. What do you think?
Austin Bashi got what he needed. Not what he wanted. He got what he needed in the last fight. He had a veteran lesson taught to him. The kid is a baby. An absolute baby. He's not like Chase Hooper, where like we literally were like, Chase, you shouldn't be fighting full contact when you were in here. Like, Austin's got his man body. He doesn't look like a toothpick out there. But he needed a lesson, man. He needed a lesson. And if you're looking at both of these guys wondering who is going to be making more improvements, it's Austin Bashi. When you pull up Giannis's record, it's not a good list of people to be fighting. And I know Bashi hasn't been running through guys in the UFC, but really, really unimpressive. Now, what we do see here is KO, KO, KO. Losing by rear naked, and then we run down some splits. Is he knocking out Austin Bashi? I don't think so. Austin Bashi hasn't shown any glimpses of having a bad chin or anything like that. I think his cardio is going to be better. This short notice, this is as short notice as we've seen.
This is pretty
3-day notice. So UFC is not going to throw some killer at their prize prospect that just had a loss. This screams to me like a PFL-style bet where this is our prospect. We got to get him on the win streak. I need somebody in here. Who is he scheduled to fight?
Who? Bashi?
Yeah.
Or Giannis?
Bashi.
Francis Marshall. That's right.
Okay.
We were going to do well. We were going to do well in that fight.
Yeah. So they're not going to all of a sudden take some young kid like this and throw him to the wolves with some other prospect, and that's why none of us have heard about John Giannis. Let's be real here. Right? If John Giannis popped up in PFL this week, you'd say, who the heck is this guy? John Giannis is opening the card in the UFC.
Yeah, you got to be
difference.
Yeah, you got to be up on the regional scenes to know who John Giannis is, so stay away. All right, Parlay Buster and woulda coulda shoulda. Oh boy. Parlay Buster? Parlay Buster is a fight we think everybody's going to be putting in their parlays, and we're here to say be careful on that one. I would say the over in the Ricci Rebus fight was the Parlay Buster last week, and then it comes out that Rebus has terrifyingly been suffering from seizures and fainting, and passing out, and they're still letting her fight. What are we doing?
I know. I don't know how she passed medicals. Are we even doing medicals anymore?
Yeah, now her eye is 10 shades of fucked up. This is the second bad orbital injury. Like, I get it. This is, I get it. It's their career and they can do what they want to do. But, man, it is gross hearing about this. Who was the female that was Macy Barber?
Macy. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this stuff is kind of scary. So, But, our job is to make money. Had we known that, we'd have laid the farm on Baby Shark. So, but this week, got to try and pick a fight or a bet that we think everybody's going to put in their parlays. And then after this, we're going to do a little PFL breakdown, so stick around for that. What's yours, Jim? Do you have one? A parlay buster?
I'll tell you, I'm really struggling on the parlay buster, and I think there's really only one answer. Like, I'm trying to look at multiple options here, but the only answer to me is the fighter that is going to lose the third round in Esteban.
Esteban, I like this. Yeah.
Like, that's the only theory that I can get here. I believe that Nakamura is going to shine through and get his win, so I don't believe he's going to drop the ball. Bashi, I think, rolls at plus 700. At minus 550, that's a parlay number if I've ever seen one. So I'll take him. Do you have anybody else besides him that you're?
I don't know I don't know what the play is that everyone's going to be putting in their parlays. That's the problem with this. This whole segment is based on what's everyone going to put in their parlays. I don't know what everyone's going to put in their parlays. I guess here's what I'll do. I think a lot of people are going to go Taira by finish.
Okay.
I'll there's probably a lot of respect here between these two from Park stepping up. What if Taira wants another 5-rounder? What if Taira wants another 5 rounds of cardio and just says, "Hey, buddy, thank you so much for saving this fight. Let's get a payday."
It's a great angle, man.
I'm gonna win.
Absolutely great. We've seen this so many times.
Yeah, the Danny Diego Lopez was the ultimate example. So, and honestly, after the first couple rounds, what's the likelihood of finishing? So, I'll go the Tyron Park fight goes the distance. So, woulda, coulda, shoulda.
This is another tough one. I kind of know what I think this is a very dry card. There's not going to be any big finish prop that I'm going to target. I tell you, man, I don't really have one. You have one that you love?
Piero Rodriguez. It was always Piero
you
Rodriguez
like that one
over
a lot.
Ketlin Souza. Absolutely. Piero Rodriguez. Give me that dog. She's got that dog in her. Even if the dog does things outside the rule book.
It's a bad dog. Bad dog.
You try and swat her with a newspaper. See what happens.
I'll land here. This very first fight of the night, we can watch the first 30 seconds of this fight and say, oh, my God, John Giannis is not supposed to be here. And it's going to be Austin Bashi just running through him like a hot knife through butter. And we'll see what the Bashi by finish prop is. I know he's not like a juggernaut finisher, but this guy could be bad enough. He could be bad. We don't want to bet on good fighters. We want to bet against bad fighters that are out of their element. So, we'll do a little more research on that, but it could be Bashi for me.
All right, let's go to PFL. Let's take a look at this absolutely atrocious card. Thad Jean, Logan Storley.
For those of you who didn't know, there is another league called PFL. They're really bad at marketing.
This is terrible. This is awful. All right. Got our ass kicked last time out. PFL is just not the same.
Not the same.
Betting opportunities. We went all in on our girl Ditcheva by finish. She breaks her hand, then it turns out she signed a long-term deal with PFL. She's in the middle of filming a movie. Like everything that we know to avoid. We just didn't know it was happening. So let's start at the top. Thad Jean, Logan Storley. Thoughts on this one?
Well, Thad Jean was the big upset. Another big L. This
got us absolutely tripped us up.
We really thought Jason Jackson was going to teach the young man a lesson. Now, I went back and watched that fight, and I know it was close, really close. A lot of people had Thad losing that fight, but let's keep in mind that was a 3-round fight. And looking at the comparison of Jason Jackson and Logan Storley, big difference. Jason Jackson at least has tools on the feet. Logan is so one-dimensional. And if you guys remember, the beginning of the season, I said, we're going to find a spot to fade Logan Storley. It's not going to be round 1 when he got the draw of Joseph Luciano. It's not going to be round 2 when he's going to fight the Japanese fighter who can't wrestle. This is the moment. This is the moment to fade Logan Storley. The bottom line is if this fight takes place on the feet for any sort of extended period of time, Thad Gene is going to knock Logan Storley unconscious. This is a different animal. Logan has had a very easy path here. And honestly, Thad Gene took out our favorite for the win there. So
Absolutely.
I think Thad Gene's coming into his own. The physicality is going to be huge for Thad Gene. These two guys faced off. Thad is huge compared to Logan. Logan is not big. And keep in mind that before this tournament started, Logan was talking about hanging it up. This is his one last hurrah. So, of course, he's going to bring his best, but I think the clock has run out on Logan Storley. The perennial bridesmaid, Logan Storley, will continue to
Once
be
again.
the perennial bridesmaid. And
great.
Thad Gene and PFL are going to get their superstar, their next ditch of like they made sure happened the last fight against Jackson.
Mavlid Pulyaev and Jesus Pinedo. I mean, God, PFL's a who's who of guys that we underestimated. Pinedo, we loved Braga against him. Pinedo knocks him unconscious. Pulyaev is coming off of, I mean, come on. Like, just dominated Tai Kyun Kim, made it look elementary. Interesting fight here. Two completely different styles. You got to be honest, I like Pinedo. I think he just needs one shot, and I think Pulyaev walks into one. And when I say one shot, like literally Pinedo just needs one. It's just one clean shot. So you're telling me that Pulyaev has to avoid every single shot that Pinedo has. I just am not sure he can do it. Split decision against Kennedy was a bad look. I know it was unanimous, but, again, Asian fighter against a guy who can wrestle, it's just not a good look here. So.
Kim was so out of his element in that fight.
Yeah.
You saw it from the start. Like, minus, what was it, 265 on him? Oh, that was
in the first 2 minutes, it was like live bet.
Had to.
So I got Pinedo upset in this one.
Pulyev's not going to retire undefeated. We've been over this. Now, interview with Khabib is game plan is to take him down and finish him on the ground. So they believe that they have
no
a very
shit,
large...
Khabib. Thank you very much for the
no shit,
for
he's
the
not gonna
insight.
stand. They believe they have a very large advantage on the ground. Khabib himself said, he goes, I don't think we should stand. He goes, I think it's even. Bullshit.
Even?
Khabib does not think it's even on the feet. Genuinely. He does not. It is Pinedo on the feet. This fight screams live bet. If you want to take Pinedo by KO in round one, most certainly do so. What's wild is we still really don't know what Pinedo is like in a 5-round fight.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So there's a lot of unknowns in this. I don't think it's worth a bet. I'll tell everybody right now, we will not have a bet on this fight for clients, not one shot. I think you sit back and you watch this, and this is your live bet card. For the sake of picking one, I'll go head-to-head with you. I'll take Pulyaev to drain the gas tank of Pinedo if he survives round one.
All right. Any other fights you want to bring up?
So Jordan Newman is going to absolutely roll over this Abdul Bassett. Absolutely roll. Jordan Newman, high-level wrestler. Striking is coming along nicely. He's right in that mold of Archie Colgan. We just saw Archie do what he had to do against Barna Rui. So really making the steps the right way. Hasn't fought the best level of competition. That's fine. I will gladly fade anybody who loses to Mike Shipman. It's that simple to me. Right? Mike Shipman
not only loses to Mike Shipman, but gets
finished. Yeah. Mike Shipman is like the 7 degrees of Kevin Bacon. Right? Anybody who's fought Mike Shipman, I'm in. I'm betting. I got an angle. I just got to see how they did against Mike Shipman. So he's going to roll. Sergio Casio against Kazuba. We have a 14-0 Kazuba, 2-time PFL Europe champ, going up against Sergio Casio. And if you have ever seen a Sergio Casio fight from Italy, not the best MMA circuit, he is a grappling specialist. He's had a ton of fights against low-level people. Kazuba's not going to fall for it. This is going to be one-way traffic on the feet. Kazuba, I believe, is minus 660 in the time of recording. He's definitely safe to parlay. Pretty wild that he's not in the tournament, though.
Yeah.
They're just kind of building what they can.
My family has a lot of accountants, so in it. So the auditor is just one of my favorite nicknames of all time. What a great nickname, the auditor. I love that
Creative.
one. Could go with a little upset here with Dupross against Nathan Kelly. Could we?
Is the Nathan Kelly experiment over?
It looks like it's over in this picture. He looks confused. Like, what is this picture? I'm sorry. This picture alone has me asking questions about Nathan Kelly, and then watching him get submitted by Taehyung Kim is. If you get submitted back to back by two guys named Magomedov, that's one thing. But if you get submitted by a Magomedov and then a Kim, I got some pretty serious questions, and this is right up your alley of the affiliation in Ireland.
There's my gym.
Do your thing. Do your thing, Jim. Tell us about it.
SGB Ireland is a fade. They're a fade. They don't have a wrestling program. It's John Kavanagh just working on his striking. These guys all strike the same. They move the same. They're very easy to train for. And Nathan Kelly, here's the thing we missed with Nathan Kelly. Could you go to Nathan Kelly's fights, please? Because we missed this. We've been trying to pick who's going to win or lose in Nathan Kelly's fight. What should we be betting in Nathan Kelly's fights?
Oh my God, unders. Yeah.
Unders, man. Unders. Look at these. Somebody's getting finished in this fight. Either Kelly is as bad as we think he is at this point and has no cardio and no fight. When he has to stand and strike and he gets hit, his reaction is almost like panicky, like he has to come back. He has no ability to step back, remove himself from the firefight, and make adjustment. Now, Dupross almost had Braga out of there.
Yes, he did. He really did.
It didn't happen.
And this was super short notice by Dupross. I think this is a gift. Like, hey, thank you very much for saving the Braga fight.
It's a great
We'll
point.
get you another one. You're going to have a full training camp.
I really like the plus money on Dupross. I haven't bet it yet, but that's a great point. You came in and fought him on short notice. Not only that, he hasn't fought since then. So he's been training. They haven't said, okay, come back next week. We know what PFL does, right? With these guys that get knocked out and choked out. 2 weeks. We got to fight for you in 2 weeks. You'll be fine. Don't worry about medicals. We have ways around
Don't worry about medicals.
We have ways around that. We'll throw you an extra $5,000. I think Dupross is super live in this fight, but for this fight not to go the distance, if you can get a line on that or the under 2.5, I think somebody's getting caught in a submission in this fight. One of these guys is going to shine.
I mean, I just can't get it. Nathan Deer in Headlights Kelly. Look, I just can't get over that picture. Whatever. All right. Any of these other fights jump off the page?
No, not going to warrant our bets here. Be careful on these lower level fights. Sherrick Seals and Nick Meck should be a wrestling match. Close fight. First fight of the night, you got Matt Turnbull, who's not that great, against a New England cartel fighter. Another guy I like to fade. Another gym. So I don't see any value there, but be cautious with PFL. It really hasn't been the same as it has been for the past couple of years, and when something's not working, you scale back on it. You don't bet it. So, you know what we like, and we'll go from there.
All right, guys, thanks for joining us. Hit the like button. Leave us a comment. Tell us who you like in the comments section. Give us a bet. It's a tough card, so we'll navigate it. Method of victory will be on Friday. Takedown Live will be on Saturday. I will have to leave early for the show. Yeah, I know. So we got a big show. We got a big show for my production company, and my business partner and engineers are out of town. So anytime I have to go do a load in or a load out for my sound production company, we are short-handed because that ain't my jam. So I am a warm body at best, but we will be live for Takedown Live. So thanks for joining us. Good luck on your bets. Tread carefully and take care.
Good night, guys.